When Saturn is on our sun, it can be a time of separation from the masses in some way. We're really consolidating our energy. And it can feel depressing if we think we're supposed to be out and about and having fun. And this is someone with that Sagittarius on the rise. So known to be someone who likes to have fun, known to be someone who is the first to say, oh, let's go party. But here he is with Saturn and the Sun just started about November, December, kind of just before the holidays here, extending out till September of 2010. All of a sudden he's feeling serious. All of a sudden doesn't want to be the party goer all the time. There's something about consolidating energy, something about saying, whoa, who do I want to be in the world? Because having the sun on the midheaven means there is a real intention to be recognized, a real intention to be known. And since this midheaven is in Libra with the sun as well, it's about being known for something, something that's aesthetically related, like a web designer, a clothing designer, just someone. It doesn't matter what it is. It matters that you're being known for the aesthetic part of it or the creative part of it, of whatever you do. And so, in this case, we have someone that's being challenged to really get serious and consolidate this right now at age 19. Some people won't have this till later in life. Here's someone who's young and saying, I'm getting serious about what I want to look like in the public, who I am in the public, getting really serious about it. And at the same time, with Pluto there squaring this whole area, this sun and the midheaven, here's a sense of wanting to come out right now in the world and saying, here I am, here's what I want to do. And that's hard for a Libra, really hard for a Libra to just take charge and to be themselves separate from others. That's really difficult for a Libra. And that's what he's being challenged to do right now, to separate and be the power, or use his own internal power and just be that regardless of other people. But there's a challenge there too, because coming out of the gate like this and saying move out of my way, here I come, will cause, antagonists to at least appear to be after you. And with Mars in the natal 7th house, if you look at the far right-hand side of the chart up there, Mars in the 7th house natally, here's someone who, in general, kind of projects aggression onto other people. So someone who would come across much softer and the nice person, and other people are aggressive and mean and things like that. So here's someone who brings or invites aggression from other people. This would be a time, especially this next year plus year or two, of feeling like people are out, almost like everywhere you turn is if taking any sort of stance on your own could easily lead to feeling like people are against you or trying to stop you, trying to it's just a lot of it is projection. A lot of it is a sense of projecting your own aggression and your own antagonist, that inner antagonist that you might have. So it's, the party that just says, I'm going, come hell or high water, is getting challenged. And it may be through other people that it's being challenged. And so that's something to be aware of. Just be aware that, even though there is a huge inner urge to separate, huge inner urge to be who you are in some way, this is a time of still adhering to that, understanding that other people exist too. And being a Libra makes it a lot easier to do that. So just don't tune out of that Libra energy. In other words, stick with understanding that other people exist. But at the same time, this would not be a time to repress any kind of personal ambitions or longings, because this is a time to put things together far and away, to step out and to come out with whatever it is this person is. And so this is a very, very, very intense time period in general. If you look at the other side of it, down at the bottom there, Uranus now. So at the same time that, the sun and the midheaven are getting hit by a conjunction by Saturn and a square by Pluto, Uranus down here is getting hit by a conjunction by Pluto and a square by Saturn. And a square by Saturn, Saturn square to Uranus, Uranus is about our uniqueness, our inner uniqueness, what makes us different. Saturn is saying, let's get serious about that. Let's get serious about what makes us unique. So again, amplifying this theme, okay? Pluto conjunct Uranus, this can be a very explosive transit. This is one you do not want to repress any any needs or desires to be who you are. That would be very detrimental. But just as long as there's a recognition that other people exist and there's boundaries and things, this can be a great transit for just coming forth in some way. And as long as there's an awareness that there can be some aggression stirred, because if we're concentrating for a big long period of time here, a year or two, which is what we're talking about, most of 2010 and into 2011 is what we're talking about here, that this can arouse some anger and some resistance from others in some way. In addition to this whole intense thing going on right now, we have Mars, which is in retrograde, and so that means it appears to be moving backwards. It's not really moving backwards. It just looks like it is. And that will go forward in mid-March, about March 10th. And so it started going backwards in December, but this whole time period, it's kind of covering this general part of the chart from 0 degrees Leo through about 20 degrees Leo. So everybody in their chart between 0 and 20 degrees Leo is having Mars kind of go back and forth over that area. And in this case, it's in his 8th house. Okay, in his 8th house, and it's crossing over his Jupiter a few times. And the first time it hit Jupiter would have been about November of 09, and then it's going to hit the last time in April of 2010. And so this general time period between November and April, November 09 to April 2010, is just real amped up kind of a feeling, like wanting to just almost take on too much, almost to go forward too fast. Okay, and with everything else going on, that's why I'm bringing this part up too, is because it is important to get serious and to not make quick moves. To make calculated moves is what's the best idea, the best method right now. Any impulsive moves could lead to an undoing of some kind, as well as a lot of opposition. Okay, so it is a key. It's going to feel like a great time, and it is a great time to come forth. But as long as there is a sense of, how do I make this concrete? How do I formulate this new self into being? And how do I be this new thing out in the world? The more that is, the more that is calculated and not impulsively addressed, the better. That's probably the most general advice. And I think we'll leave it at that. I want to keep these on the spots a little bit more, a little briefer than I have had them. But this is a pretty intense period for this individual. And and if you're interested in hearing about what's going on for you right now, if you feel like the world's kind of collapsing on you and you don't understand what's going on, feel free to contact me at myastrochrist.com or myastrochrist.blogspot.com, which is where you'll see the final blog here with the YouTube video, as well as the chart on the blog. And also, if you're interested in a full reading, then you can also contact me through my website at myastrochrist.com, and we can set something up that can be done in person if you're in my area, or over the phone, or I even do write-ups. So it's up to you. And thanks for tuning in, and have a good one, and hope to see you again.